very chilly evening here in Mogadishu. My name is Abdulrazak Ali and thank you so much for tuning in to Dalsan TV English News, your #1 TV station for news and updates. Let's take a look at some of the stories that are making headlines here in Somalia. Opposition concerns fuel discussions on Somalia's constitutional amendments. Key Al-Shabaab leaders killed in airstrike. Somalia and Kenya agree to deepen diplomatic ties. Sodma Commissioner meets with Senate Select Committee on Interior Affairs. Welcome back. Now let's delve into our full bulletin. In a joint statement, former President Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Ahmed and ex-Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khaire, alongside the current envoy for drought, Abdirahman Abdishakur, have expressed concerns over the constitutional amendment. Our reporter has more on this. Members of both chambers of Somalia have convened for crucial discussions on the ratification and completion of long-awaited amendments to the provisional constitution, which has remained unfinished for several years. The day commenced with the distribution of copies of the proposed amendments to all representatives, followed by comprehensive briefings from the Constitutional Review and Oversight Committee, representing both bodies. The committee also presented a detailed schedule for the debates, which are anticipated to span multiple days. Chapters 1 through 4 have been prepared by the Constitutional Review and Oversight Committee for these significant discussions, with Chapter 1 set to be deliberated upon from 14th to 19th February. Following Chapter 1, the debate on Chapter 2 is scheduled to take place from 21st February to 4th March, while the discourse on Chapter 3 is planned for 6th to 11th March. Finally, the deliberation on Chapter 4, marking the conclusion of the second phase of discussions on Chapters 1 to 4 of the Republic's Constitution, will occur from 13th to 23rd March. This progress is a significant step towards the completion and reform of the country's constitution. In a joint statement, former President Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, former Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khaire, and current envoy for drought and relief Abdirahman Abdishakur expressed their concerns regarding the challenges and threats faced by the nation, particularly from Al-Shabaab and Ethiopia. The opposition leaders allege that the president has shifted his focus away from the fight against Al-Shabaab insurgents, allowing the militants to regain control of territories previously captured by government forces in the initial phase of the offensive. Likewise, the former leaders expressed apprehension concerning the government's strategy in countering Ethiopia's attempts to annex parts of the country's north. They pointed out that the president's failure to appoint foreign and security ministers is indicative of lack of seriousness in preventing Abiy Ahmed's aggression. Now, the Somali government has authorized airstrikes in the Al-Shabaab-held Jamame district in Lower Juba region on Sunday, effectively targeting the notorious militant group Al-Shabaab, executing key militants in the operation.
The Somali government authorized airstrikes in the Al-Shabaab-held Jamame district in Lower Juba on Sunday, effectively targeting the notorious militant group. Executed by an unnamed international partner, the operation resulted in the elimination of over 20 Al-Shabaab members, including leaders who had sought refuge along the riverbanks. The Somali military and Jubaland authorities have confirmed the resounding success of the airstrikes, which also led to the demise of several foreign militant leaders. However, the specific identities of these individuals have not been disclosed. This strategic operation is part of a comprehensive approach aimed at combating Al-Shabaab in their strongholds, with Somali government forces collaborating closely with international partners. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked extremist organization, has long been dedicated to overthrowing Somalia's internationally backed government. Recognized globally as a terrorist group, it has carried out numerous deadly attacks on government institutions, civilian populations, and military targets, not only within Somalia, but also across the Horn of Africa region. The recent airstrikes conducted in Lower Juba reflect the ongoing efforts of the Somali government and its allies to weaken and dismantle Al-Shabaab's capabilities. These strikes come in the wake of Al-Shabaab's claim of responsibility for a deadly attack on a military training facility in Mogadishu just days ago, which resulted in the tragic loss of 3 officers from the United Arab Emirates, including a highly esteemed colonel who served as the lead Emirati trainer, as well as at least one officer from Bahrain. This brazen attack further underscores the urgency and necessity of counter-terrorism operations against Al-Shabaab.
Now, the federal government of Somalia and the neighboring Kenya have vowed to deepen and expand their mutual diplomatic relations for the mutual benefit of the two nations, speaking while presenting copies of the credential to Somalia's acting Foreign Affairs Minister Ali Mohamed Omar. Kenya's new ambassador has Kubai Kiringo stated his enthusiasm to represent Kenya.
Somalia and Kenya have expressed their determination to deepen and expand their diplomatic relationships, paving the way for increased collaboration and mutual gains between the two nations. During a ceremony where he presented his credentials to Somalia's acting Foreign Minister Ali Mohamed Omar, the newly appointed Kenyan ambassador to Somalia, Kubai Kiringo, conveyed his excitement in representing Kenya in Somalia. He emphasized his dedication to strengthening the long-standing ties that exist between the neighboring countries. Both Kenya and Somalia have actively worked towards bolstering trade and diplomatic ties in recent times. Notably, this effort has been exemplified by the resumption of direct Kenya Airways flights to Mogadishu and Somalia's admission to the East African community, signaling a new chapter of cooperation and partnership. A growth in trade between the two nations has been observed, with Kenya's exports to Somalia witnessing a significant 51.4% increase during the 9 months leading up to September 2023, compared to the corresponding period the previous year. The meeting between the representatives from Kenya and Somalia stressed their shared commitment to fostering enhanced bilateral relations and cooperation across multiple domains. The focus areas encompassed security collaboration, economic development initiatives, and the promotion of trade ties. Both parties expressed their keenness to explore new avenues for cooperation and joint ventures that can bring about substantial benefits for their respective nations. The strengthened diplomatic bonds between Somalia and Kenya hold great promise for fostering regional stability, economic growth, and greater collaboration in various sectors. The commitment demonstrated by both nations highlights their shared vision and determination to work together for the betterment of their peoples. As Somalia and Kenya embark on this journey of deeper cooperation and mutual support, the prospects for a brighter future and increased prosperity for both nations seem more promising than ever before.
Now, on to our last story. The Commissioner of the Somali Disaster Management Agency, SODMA, Mohamud Muallim, has on Saturday met with the Upper House Committee on Interior Affairs, Reconciliation and Intergovernmental Relations.
The Commissioner of the Somali National Disaster Management Agency, Mohamud Muallim, has on Saturday met with the Upper House Committee on Interior Affairs, Reconciliation and Intergovernmental Relations. During the meeting chaired by the Senator Deqa Hassan Hussein, the Commissioner presented a general report and answered questions about the emergency assistance the agency has received, the responses to the El Nino emergencies, and the challenges faced.
nooga warameen ilaa iyo hadda qaabka ay ugu gurmadeen dadka Soomaaliyeed ay saameeyeen fatahaadaha shaqo runtii aad u mug weyn oo waxqabad muhiim ah oo muuqda oo runtii shacabka Soomaaliyeedna u baahan yihiin in caqabadaha hortaagan hay'adda ay ka mid tahay gargaarka marka la gaarsiinayo gobolada u baahan.
The committee commended the agency for its relentless continued efforts to coordinating and distributing humanitarian relief assistance to the Somali people affected by the El Nino-induced floods. Commissioner Muallim expressed gratitude to the committee for the session and underscored the unwavering commitment by the agency to continue supporting and bolstering help to the families severely impacted by the heavy rains and drought. SODMA has recently heightened relief efforts to the thousands of families ravaged by the natural calamities that ravaged the Horn of Africa nation, which have devastated homes and decimated livestock and crops.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Dalsan TV English News. That story brings us to the end of this bulletin. We wish you a lovely evening.